itself. So if you're confused, if you've ever have to play this map and you're not sure where the spawns are, it's forced cross depending on where you spawn. So that's a good tip. All right, well, we are in the game, and up here in the right side of the map, Way Station, playing for his respective clan, going by the name Deimos Esports Community. The pink Terran. We have DieInStyle. And over here on the left side, playing for his clan that goes by the name Overdosed. The green Terran, we have Blooms. Alright, so Way Station's an interesting map. As I said, it is forced cross every single time. And this map is... in these positions, it seems like it's really good for rushes. And you're lagging, Cypher. Just a little bit.
I was switching my graphics, sorry.
Okay, that's cool. So we have both players going for a wall here, which I like, because again, the rush distance is very, very short in these positions. Now, the one thing is the Reaper. Generally, Terrans want to use lots of Reapers, and Reapers are pretty decent on this map. There's this area here at the front, but then there's the area over here on the left side, where I believe Reapers can jump up there. Yes. So Reapers can jump up there as well. So Reapers aren't the worst, but I think there's definitely better maps for them. And Blooms may be placing his barracks in such a way where he's going to get an early reactor, because this isn't going to be a tight wall once this finishes, unfortunately for him. So on the other side of the map, we have a 12-12 or 12-13 coming in for DieInStyle, so looking to go for that Reaper expand. And Bloom's SCV is moving out across the map now to go scout and see what DieInStyle is up to. Now Blooms has taken his own gas a little bit later, so looking to play a little bit more defensive with defensive Hellions, defensive tanks, defensive whatever gas units, Vikings, Ravens, and whatnot. I wouldn't expect him to go Banshees off of this because that doesn't make too much sense. So the barracks is now completing for both players here, and DieInStyle does not quite have 50 gas, but no, it's going to be Marine first. Okay, so this could be an early factory from him. No, he's actually going to cancel and go for the Reaper. Okay. So on the other side of the map, we have a Marine coming out for Blooms. Still has about 50 gas up in the bank, has this SCV idle, unfortunately needs to go ahead and get that guy back to work. And he's going to go ahead and do that. So I'm imagining a very quick reactor here. This Marine done, there's the reactor. Cool. Alright, so everything's looking fine. The only problem is this Reaper has a potential to do a little bit of damage, as one Reaper beats one Marine straight up. So that's definitely something Blooms is going to have to watch out for. He doesn't want this Reaper to jump up, kill this Marine, and then have a heyday on this mineral line, because that would not be very good for him. It looks like Blooms is actually down on SCV count here. Okay, he was able to catch back up. I guess because it was that SCV over here was working. But that's okay. So the first Reaper is now out, the second Reaper is on the way for DieInStyle. So again, Blooms is going to have to make sure he defends this as well as he can. One Marine loses to one Reaper, remember. So if this Marine dies, it's going to be a really bad thing for Blooms. Yeah, Blooms knows that, and he's going to try to pull back, but actually he's going to engage the Reaper directly. But this Reaper doesn't care because, again, it has combat drugs, so it heals while it's outside of combat, and there's nothing that really can hit it here. So there you go, it's going to start regenerating its health. One SCV, completely worth it. It gets the Marine and an SCV, which is why we get C2 kills there. Two Marines going to pop out and will shove this Reaper away. But the second Reaper is on its way, and these Reapers, if microed correctly, will be able to take on both of these Marines. And there's no more Marines in production. Oh, this Reaper, though, actually misrallied here. And he's going to get away, by the looks of things. But he's going to go ahead and regroup and see what he can do. Now, for DieInStyle, his factory's coming in. A third Reaper's on the way for him as well, and a factory here for Blooms. So defensive Hellions, most likely for Blooms, and he's also got the reactor on the way, DieInStyle does, and he's also got that factory. So he's going to have... factory timings are relatively similar, so I was going to say he's going to have a little bit of an advantage, but both players are on the same playing field. Although Blooms does not have an expansion, whereas DieInStyle does have that expansion. So this two Reapers going to jump up, going to kill one Marine, and these Reapers are going to be able to take on every single Marine here and kill them all. So Blooms is having a really hard time defending this early Reaper aggression. This is something you see TVZ a lot, is this 3 Reaper opening, and he's killing a lot of SCVs here, is DieInStyle, so he's definitely making these Reapers pay for themselves. So far we have 5 workers killed, but it's not over yet. Another Marine's gonna die, and another SCV. And this is almost game-ending damage at this point in the game here for Blooms. I mean, I know it's TVT, and I've seen Terran versus Terrans go down to like 3 SCVs, and the other Terran player ends up coming back with tanks. which is what Blooms is most likely going to be looking to do here. He's going to be looking to make some early tanks and try to take this game, try to keep DieInStyle in his base and scared, but I don't know how well he's going to be able to do that. And we've got that factory with the tech lab now done for DieInStyle, so he's looking to do the same thing here, starport for both players. And these Reapers, I think, can still take on this amount of Marines. Now, I don't think they can. There's about 7 of them on the map now, so versus 3 Reapers, these Marines are going to have enough numbers to take those guys down. First tank is out now, so Blooms actually positions this tank over here where I was saying these Reapers jump up. He can just kill every single one of them. He's going to position it well enough that's going to be able to cover that. And looks like DieInStyle going to move 4 Marines out to go ahead and regroup up with these Reapers and see what he can do. Now DieInStyle is going to take his own command center now, and that's something Blooms does not have, so he's way behind economically, and he knows he's got to do something. But an engineering bay block here from Blooms, this is very cool. That's a very, very cool decision. No more units on the way for DieInStyle, as well, at least across the map. It looks like that one tank may be moving across the map. We'll have to see. Yep, he's going to move right past the bunker, so he's going to go across the map and look to put on a little bit of pressure, but Blooms has 2 tanks to only the 1 here for DieInStyle. And no, DieInStyle looks like he's just going to fall back and be like, okay, because he sees this engineering bay. And I like this from Blooms. Again, this is really cute. He's able to deny the expansion going down for DieInStyle, and Blooms is going to move out now. He knows he's got to do something. There's now 2 tanks here for us. So for DieInStyle, so both players are now equal in that tank count. So Blooms is going to be hard pressed, really, I think, to make something happen. Yes, he may have a larger Marine count, but there's Reapers here, which can get right in nice and tight on those tanks and stop them from firing at them. Yes, they don't do a lot of damage, but I think they do enough damage. We have +1 attack about halfway completed for DieInStyle as well. So DieInStyle is looking for looking for the mid to late game here. He's looking for a later game, but Blooms looks like he may siege up this left position over here. But there's no production that he can actually hit from this low ground here. So that's kind of unfortunate here for Blooms. Blooms can take his own command center now, so he's not looking to make this an all-in by any means. And here comes these 3 Reapers, and they're all going to die. No, they're not. They're actually all going to get away, which is huge. And now DieInStyle sees this. I think he needs to just go ahead and siege up here as soon as he can. And 1 tank going to siege up in the natural, 1 going to siege right up here, which is really, really smart. And there's no elevator attacks, but there is a Viking here. And if this is 1 tank, these 2 tanks siege up, but they don't target the other tank up here, so it looks like DieInStyle's going to be able to hold this. Really nice defense. Really, really nice defense there by DieInStyle. He was able to hold that off. And again, if Blooms had targeted this 1 tank, this would have been a very, very different game right now. But unfortunately, every tank that Blooms had died, and DieInStyle still kept that tank and still has that 2nd tank down as natural with a 3rd popping out. So I like DieInStyle's position right now. He's up 3 tanks to 1, which in TVT, Marine tank versus Marine tank is huge. Tank count is everything in this matchup this early on, so you don't want to lose your tanks like Blooms did, and unfortunately, sometimes it happens. And again, Blooms is also behind in upgrades, while the Marines for DieInStyle are on 1 attack and 0 armor, working on that 1 armor though. And the Viking count looks like it's in favor of DieInStyle by the looks of things as well, as he was making 2 at a time. Yep, there they are, moving out now across the map, and DieInStyle, man, gonna look to siege up Blooms now. Blooms does have these 2 tanks, but he does not have air superiority right now, and there's 3 tanks again here for DieInStyle. He has to make sure not to walk too far forward. He's gonna walk too far forward. Unfortunately, he'll lose 1 tank immediately. This 1 tank's gonna fall. The 2nd tank here behind is doing a decent amount of damage, but another tank does walk forward here for DieInStyle. 1 siege is up. Looks like he's gonna lose that tank as well. And looks like Blooms has been able to hold his back for now. Another tank gonna fall back and siege up, and Blooms has defended for now, but no, you don't want to be running on that tank line, Blooms. What are you doing? You're just taking free shots from tanks now. Losing a ton of Marines there is Blooms. And again, he needs to be really careful because these tanks have very high zoning power in this matchup, Marine tank versus Marine tank. So, in the end, I think DieInStyle has taken the better end of that trade. I know it seems weird to say that, but again, he's had this expansion for quite a while longer, so we can actually afford to lose a few more units. And now, he's actually going to go for a Doom drop here, is DieInStyle, so this is going to be very difficult for Blooms to hold. Blooms sees it now, but he's trying to react a little bit too late. If he had reacted to this a little bit earlier, I think it would be a little bit better, but now these 2 sieged up tanks, it's going to be really, really hard for Blooms to actually deal with these 2 tanks, as well as the 3rd one if it actually sieges up here on the low ground. This would be very hard, but here we go. Actually, the Marines for DieInStyle walking out there a little bit too far. They're all going to die. So the Marine count is severely hurting right now for DieInStyle. But again, these tanks for DieInStyle here is very, very difficult for Blooms to actually break. Bloom's going to lose the 1 tank that's in range of the other tank, unfortunately for him, and it's also starting to lose production. Now, I like this. from balloons, but there's a lot of Vikings here, and actually loses that entire medevac, and I think losing that medevac full of units right there may be game, honestly, because look at what DieInStyle's got here. He's got three tanks right here at the natural. He's got another tank up here right at the natural, and he's got a bigger marine count than balloons. And he's also got the upgrade advantage as well. He's on 1-1. So any fight that these Marines take versus each other is going to be way more efficient for DieInStyle. And this tank has 3 kills to its name. Those Marines walk down the ramp, get sniped immediately by those tanks. And again, here we go. You're going to see the 1-1 kick in right here. And as you can see, DieInStyle's units took no damage, partly because of the medevacs, but also partly because of these upgrades. No combat shield for either player, though, interestingly enough. And this tank here is just going to go to absolute town on everything that comes down this ramp. GG, well played, calls balloons, and DieInStyle. And take game number 1 for Deimos. Well played there by DieInStyle. Really, really nice 3 Reaper opening. Did a lot of damage. Blooms was obviously not prepared for that. And then he was able to defend very, very well in his main base. And yeah. And again, he had an earlier expansion. So every trade he can take, every trade he took, could be less efficient. So